Petterson, Safe Food Specialist, and we're here today at Ford Hotel Supply to discuss allergens. Along with me is Chef Michael Lapage,
Thank you, Linda.
who has more knowledge than I do about this subject, and he's going to give us some more information.
Absolutely, yeah. And then obviously CJ.
And I'm here. Yeah. No,
See?
we only drove together, you know.
How can I forget CJ?
This is really, really important,
Yes.
and this might actually be the most important food for thought we've ever done. I mean,
yes.
allergens are important, and I am so glad I can say the floor is yours, Senators. Take us through allergens and how important this is. I mean, one mistake could cost us a lot of stress and a lot of grief.
Yeah, and one mistake can cost a life.
Right.
That's the unfortunate
Right.
craziness about what allergens can do. You know, allergens it's a different world when you get to allergies. There's 8 big allergies, and we just added a 9th one recently in the past
Yes.
couple months. So if you're unaware, the big 8 are wheat, soy, fish, shellfish, or crustaceans. Well, there was milk, eggs, and then tree nuts and peanuts. And then the 9th one is
It's sesame that we just added.
Yeah, just
and
added this year.
It's not on the test yet, but will be, right?
It will be for sure. And where we're seeing a lot of that sesame bringing up as a new allergen is in the schools. I'm part of an organization called the School Nutrition Association.
Yeah.
And they're really pushing this 9th allergen sesame for schools and awareness of it for the school system.
And there's so many sesame seeds on buns and different breads.
Absolutely, and even
So
in
easy.
marinades and things like that, sesame oil.
Yes.
So if you're having Asian themed food for your school lunch or even at your restaurant, sesame oil can be in a marinade or part of a garnish on a salad or something. But like you said, absolutely. I mean, we all know the big food, fast food places have sesame seed buns, right?
Not to mention any names.
Not to mention any names, correct? Yeah. But there is a lot of sesame out there that needs to be aware of now
Right.
with this new allergen.
And it's one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast, right?
Well, absolutely.
To get the information out.
And not to just butt in here, but taking your class, allergens were one of the most asked about topics during our class together,
Yes.
Linda.
Yeah.
Is that the
Oh
case
yeah,
for you?
because I have people raise their hands who has allergens, and you're amazed
Yeah.
how many do raise their hands. And of course, there's so many more than the big 8 or the 9 we're talking about. There's many more people, and the ones who have them will tell you.
Yeah, and with allergens, the crazy part of it is they can appear out of nowhere and they can also disappear out of nowhere. So you can have a peanut allergy as a kid, but eventually grow out of that. Or not have a peanut allergy as a kid and then get one later on in life. And so it's extremely important to understand the reasoning for that or the theory behind why it's so important to have these types of products.
And then another thing that I discuss in my class is that when you have an allergen reaction, it's usually immediate,
Yes.
right? It's
Yeah.
not like sometimes with pathogens may take 24 hours or 48 hours.
Absolutely,
But
yeah.
an allergen reaction could be immediate.
Yes.
Of course, one of the worst places for an allergen person is buffets, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, that was on the test.
Yes,
wasn't
it was. I got that one right.
Yeah, I bet. But yeah, so yeah, you're absolutely right. Buffets are extremely dangerous. Even back of the house kitchens are extremely dangerous if
Doors
you're
and
not well prepared.
handles.
Yes. Yeah.
Or a
Can
big
I ask a
bang.
question real quick?
Sure.
So can we spread allergens just by, let's say, touching that jacket that our cat jumped all over and then we're going in to cook without, can that happen?
Yeah, sure. And even allergens can be airborne. I mean, look at a perfect example. The joke is peanuts on an airplane. Well, now you can't have peanuts on an airplane because peanuts can be airborne. And if somebody has a peanut allergy severe enough, airborne peanut allergens can affect that person.
Wow.
So therefore, no more peanuts on airplanes. So there are some that can have that effect. Things like shellfish generally no, but I think more of the tree nuts, the peanuts side of it, yes, for
Wow.
sure. Or even wheat, gluten. When I
makes
used to
sense,
teach
yeah.
at a school,
Well, that's a big
in a bakery, there's a flour in the air all the time. We had a student who had a wheat allergy and they had to wear a mask while being in the bake shop.
I just had somebody in my class the other day that was allergic to white and black pepper.
Yeah.
And well, it wasn't them, it was their mom and dad. And they said across the room, as someone would open up, that dust would go all across the room. Just pepper. So you never know. There's so many different kinds, and this is why we have products like this.
This
Absolutely.
is
To help
really
us out.
so cool.
Yeah, we filled
Yeah,
the
it
table
is.
up today for sure with
That's really neat.
products to help customers and operating owners to make a safe environment for their customers is the most important thing. So we do have a bunch of stuff. You'll see on the table a ton of purple. So purple is denoted as the allergen color. Most major food service manufacturers make purple products, whether it's containers, measuring cups, trays, cutting boards, and handheld utensils as well. So if you're really really interested in this, just look for purple. That's the color. And it's a pretty bright color to see in the kitchen. Usually you have your reds, your blues, your greens that kind of can blend in with your containers, but purple will stand out for sure.
Yeah.
So, if we're ready to jump right in, talk about some products?
Let's do.
Okay, so I think we should start with storage. So when you're receiving product, obviously if you're getting almond flour in or peanut butter or any of these allergens, even the shellfish and regular fish, you want to make sure you're storing that safely and there's no cross-contamination between the allergen products. So one thing companies offer are these purple containers. They are labeled allergen-free, bright purple lid on top, so it's very easy to recognize. So you can put your almond flour in one of these, close it up, and have confidence that this is not going to be mixed with your regular wheat flour or your whole grain flour or anything like that.
Yeah,
it's going to be separated, absolutely. And then same things with like liquids. If you're making a shellfish stock or a seafood stock and you're adding shrimp tails or shrimp shells into it, you can put it into one of these where, yes, it's still seafood stock or seafood broth or anything like that, but because it has that shellfish in there, it is still a highly allergic product, so you can put it in one of these and make sure it's being stored safely.
That is awesome.
Well, what I like about these too is it's, sometimes when you see those specialty things just to, for allergens or anything, it always seems like it's an eyesore sometimes, where it's so distinctive, but this looks great in any kitchen and you know it's safe.
Exactly, and it's not, companies make containers the exact same size, the exact same style, so it's not like it's, like you said, an eyesore or something like, oh my God, what is that? It stacks well, it matches well, you can wash it in any dishwasher, so it makes it a great product to have in your kitchen because your staff's going to be used to seeing products like this or containers like this, and now they're going to get used to seeing a purple lid or a purple logo on the front.
Now, Linda, can I ask, when you go into your restaurant friends and they're taking your class, do you ever pop in the back of the kitchen to see if they're following all those containers to code?
Legally, you can't just pop in the back of the kitchen. You
That's
have
right.
to be invited.
I know. I keep throwing in false rules. Don't follow along with me.
But I do like for people to take me back in the kitchen so I can see what's going on. Unfortunately, I don't see a lot of the purple in our restaurant industry.
Correct,
And I'm sure they do different things, and we're going to talk about that too.
Yes,
But
we'll kind of touch on that after we go through all this purple
But
stuff.
perhaps, since there seems to be more allergens as we go through, more people, that they will start incorporating. Because there's not much difference in price.
There's no difference in price generally for an allergen product compared to a standard traditional product, whether it's knives, serving utensils, tray, or cutting boards. Because allergens become so popular, not for good reasons, just the popularity of allergens around in society, these containers are now readily available. These products are readily available for restaurants to use, for schools to use, for healthcare facilities to use in their facilities, in their kitchens.
So someone's starting up a business or they're adding to their line of utensils to use, you might consider using the purple. And it would be very wise.
Just a few of them. You don't need a whole lot.
Start out
the whole
with
kitchen doesn't need to be that way. Just one or two of certain sizes once you develop your menu and what you're going to be bringing in. It works out perfectly for you. And again, a little, maybe it's a couple dollars extra cost because you're bringing extra containers in, but what's the flip side? You can potentially hurt somebody seriously or even worse, and then, that's a couple dollars can help with that. Help prevent that.
Exactly.
So now we have these.
These are cool.
We have storage. So we've received product in, we're ready to go.
Slide these over.
We are into production now. So when it comes to production, obviously we still want to keep the same diligence we kept with the purple containers to make sure we're safe with the allergens. So we have the companies make allergen safe or purple logoed measuring cups at all different sizes so that when you are measuring flour out of a container, you're not putting it in something that's going to go back into another container. It's a designated allergen measuring cup for the allergen container. So they kind of go hand in hand. And then as you're prepping, you want to, again, maintain that allergen-free atmosphere. So we have a whole bunch of different utensils from, wooden spoons, but they're plastic.
I've seen a couple of those in my lifetime.
For purple for cooking, or even these plastic purple tongs for serving either on a buffet or something, or in the back of the house if you're serving food onto it. Continuing with prep, you have purple handled knives, purple handled turners, and purple handled pizza. And I think a pizza wheel is probably the one item I would think would be used the most, because now pizza places are doing gluten-free crust, cauliflower crust, all the different kinds.
Yes.
Do they have a different pizza wheel to cut or a rocker to cut each one of those?
I never thought
I don't know.
of that.
You don't know, but there's a product out there for you to have.
I'm bringing that up in my class.
Yes.
That is quite, I never thought of that.
Linda, I'm going to quiz you now. Why do we have them purple?
Why do we have them?
Why are allergens labeled purple? Is it just that different color?
Yeah, it was just a color that they denoted for purple.
See, I thought it was a question on the test. That's why I was testing the teacher. I thought I could win.
I didn't know the answer to that.
As far as the history of it, as of the color purple, I'm not up to date on the history of why purple was used. I think it's just, like I said, you see the reds, the greens, the blues in kitchens pretty frequently, or clear lid, so they wanted something that stood out a little
Different,
more. Something a little unnatural in a kitchen atmosphere, and purple is that.
Well, to me, every business goes through these things. I mean, they always experience something with allergens, whether you're a cafe, whether you're a bakery. I mean, Linda, everyone in your class needs these type of products.
I think I need to start selling these things.
That could be a gift when they pass the test. Like, here's a couple allergen products for you to pass around or to look around.
Okay, chef, we got to figure this out.
We'll figure it out for sure.
Okay.
And then, like with the knives, the purple colored knives or purple handled knives,
man.
you have your purple cutting board. Again, a great tool to have. Build this as a kit, and we'll kind of show you what a kit looks like later on. But a purple cutting board denotes allergen only products. Purple handles, purple serving utensils, the allergen-free containers with a measuring cup, all the way down the line from receiving to actual production to a customer, you can be allergen-free. And even things like if you have a cafe with serving purple trays. You can have a tray that denotes allergen, especially in schools where a student, has a severe peanut allergy, and it denotes that student cannot have anything maybe on this line, or they get a special meal made for them so that they can have a nutritious meal during school lunch. You can put it on a purple tray for them, so it's denoted.
And it's not an eyesore again, where it's making that kid feel really,
absolutely.
Or let other kids know that it is an allergen that they shouldn't be putting their hands on. Right?
Yeah. So
teaching the other kids. So.
There's tons and tons of tools out there to really help. One, protect our customers, protect the patrons of the restaurant or wherever they're eating. Even you think about just hospitals and how many different different things they have to substitute in and out and this and that and dietary restrictions and all of that sense. Well, you have allergens on top of that.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure we're being as safe as possible.
Yeah. Can't be safe enough, that's for sure.
Yes.
Do you have any allergies, Linda, with food?
No, thank God.
You got lucky. What about you, Chef Lapage?
No, I think I might be a little lactose intolerant, but the gallon of ice cream I eat all the time. It might just be because I'm eating a gallon of ice cream every time I eat it. So.
Hey, I got a hint for you. Raw milk.
Raw milk, okay.
Oh, she is
A1, A2 proteins, and people who are lactose intolerant can drink raw milk.
I love that.
But it's not pasteurized, so you have to be careful.
Yeah, it works in Europe.
So with this, when did these start being introduced, this purple handle, this system? Because this is really very innovative.
I don't...
Yeah, I would say probably around between 5 and 10 years ago, you saw really big popularity of these types of utensils. Just because, again, in the past 20 years, I think the status, I don't know them off the top of my head, but the stats are pretty intense on how many people now have food allergens compared to years ago. And there's different reasons for that, whatever the reasons may be.
Yeah,
we're not here to discuss that. But
we'd be here till next week.
Exactly, yeah. But because of the more you're seeing of allergen products or people with allergies to different food products, you're seeing more companies, a necessity for more companies to produce products like these.
Well, I had a statistics in class, 300,000 people a year die from food poisoning.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people are affected with allergens.
Yeah,
I have to look that up. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I bet it's larger than what we think.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. And with what I always, when I have friends that have food allergens and they go out to eat, and I say, listen, the best tool for a kitchen or a chef is to just be open and front.
Yeah.
There's no judging. Like, we want to give you a good meal. We don't want you to have a bad experience.
Right on.
So if you can't eat something, let us know. We'll make something special for you. And so a lot of my friends or people who do have severe food allergies, they'll actually carry like a little sticker with them that says, I'm allergic to this, this, and this, and then just give it to the server or the waitress or whoever is taking their order to give back to the kitchen. So there's a clear line of communication on what is, what can be served and what cannot be served.
That is.
So and it's something simple. Again, it's something simple, useful, and it's clear communication. So there's no, did they say shellfish or did they just say fish? Did they say milk or did they say egg? Like, what did they say? And then you're running a risk. Yeah. So I always told friends with food allergens to do something like that. It's not embarrassing. What's more embarrassing is you getting very sick or potentially worse because you didn't want to tell somebody what you're allergic to.
And another thing I'm noticing on this too is how nice this. I mean, when I was thinking specialty stuff, sometimes it doesn't. It's not the same material. It's a little bit wonky. Yeah. This is all really high quality stuff.
Yeah. When it comes to the knives and stuff, it's the same knife you're going to get any other way. It's just they color the handle purple. Yeah. Same thing with the utensils. The utensils are the same material, just dyed purple. That's it, just to denote to denote it. Same cutting boards, the same material. The trays are, and even things like what I don't.
Oh, look at this big boy!
Yeah, is even during food transport. If you're a caterer.
Oh, yes.
And if you do a wedding, there's always asking, do you want chicken, fish, or is there allergies? Right. Yeah. Those are your options generally. Yeah. But if you're a caterer, you're going to give those same options. So, are you storing food that has allergies for that person with the same food that everyone else can eat? Because that's very dangerous. So there's containers out here, small ones like this, where you can label it, where it says allergy on it, you can write it on there. So there are tools out there, and I think the issue is people just don't know all the tools that are available.
No.
And that they think, man, these tools, because they're special, are so expensive. It's they're not. They're the same price as everything else, you just have to get the purple. That's it. So
that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
And when you have classes, Linda, when people are talking about allergens, because it was a highly discussed topic.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, what are some of these, common, frequently asked questions that you guys experience day to day, if you don't mind me asking you both?
Yeah, so when I ran restaurants, a lot of my staff, they didn't like cooking for allergens because they were so used to their day-to-day. We're getting tons of tickets, there's an allergy. Well, don't think of it as a burden. Think of how poor, how terrible these people that have allergies, how bad their dining experience is because they can't eat normal stuff. They can't eat they want that, but they can't because of because of their allergy. So let's make it fun for them. Let's see what they can eat. Let's get creative. Do something off the menu. We can figure it out. Let's make sure that they have a great experience because if you create a great experience for someone with an allergy like that, they're going to come back every single time.
And bring people with them.
It's creating a great experience. People who have these food allergies should have the same experience as everyone else. And unfortunately, I think they don't because they say, I have this allergy. And then somebody's like, just here's a jelly sandwich or something. They just dumb something down and they don't get really creative. So with my staff, I don't know if this is answering your question or not, but I would always tell them, get creative, but obviously be safe with it. Let's make sure they're able to eat it, but they're getting something that's tasty, delicious, looks really good, and that they would enjoy. So, but those are kind of questions from my staff I would get how do we do this? What do we do? Why is it important? Obviously, is always a good one. I said, we're not in the business of killing people, so we're in the business of, helping people, making people feel alive with food.
If they're dead, they can't come back. Now, these are all wonderful, and people can buy these and get a lot more money.
Yeah.
And we all are suggesting here, please do.
Yes.
So now there's that pan.
Oh, the pan, yes.
Let's not forget the pan.
Yeah. So even during the cooking process, so we talk about receiving, measuring, prep, cooking, right? So we're going through the whole process.
Yes.
Great companies that do produce saute pans will produce a purple handle as well to denote, again, that this is a allergen-safe product. And that when you're washing it, you can wash it separately and maybe in a 3-compartment sink so there's no dirty water hitting it that might have some allergens in it as well. So it's one of those things where tools like this, from start to finish of food production out to a plate with a customer, you have the full setup. You have the full gambit of tools to create a great dining experience, a safe dining experience for your guests.
And then the delivery box.
And then delivery box if you need to deliver it.
So we have all of this, and hopefully everybody will start doing it. But for right now, for those who don't, what they do to get ready for an allergen person in the kitchen.
Yeah, so most kitchens you walk into most likely will not have a purple, set of tools. They should, but they won't. So we can talk about that, why they should or not. What they should have, however, is an allergy kit. And this is what I used to have in my restaurants, where it was a cutting board, pair of tongs, clean, a clean towel, and one clean knife that you would use, pretty much a chef knife. Wrapped in plastic after fully cleaned and sanitized, wrapped in plastic and then labeled allergy only. And then if we did have a guest come into our restaurant that had an allergy, we would just unwrap this, put it out into our station, use these tools. When we were done with them, we'd send them back, get them washed, and at the end of the night, we'd make another kit for the next day.
This is wonderful.
So it's not hard. Everyone has these in their kitchen.
Yeah.
You have plastic wrap. You could just wrap it up.
Yes.
And then you're creating a safe environment for your
Towel,
guests.
tongs, and knife.
Yeah.
And
And depending on what
cutting
kind of
board.
restaurant you are, you might have a couple different tools in there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's pretty much the standard tools. You're going to use a tong and a towel for something hot to turn. You're going to use a knife to cut it, and the cutting board to cut on top of it. So
There you go.
very simple, and everything is in your kitchen already. So there's no excuses not to serve safe food anymore.
No, there's to allergen
right.
sufferers.
Yes.
I went on a hunt looking for this. I didn't realize you guys were grabbing it next.
We did a little TV magic.
I'm telling you what, like it fell from the ceiling. Well, and Linda, you're adding new faces to your classes too. Do you want to take us through who's joining your classes? Who's helping you teach?
Oh yes, I have Miss Megan Hilsman. She's from Breeze, Illinois, and she has joined me in being an instructor, and she will be a part of our podcast down the road, along with Chef Michael Lapage, CJ, Megan, and myself. We haven't decided next week.
We haven't decided, but I want to give a big shout out to Linda Petterson because she's gone above and beyond in finding Ford Hotel Supply and Restaurant Supply, one of the most beautiful showrooms in all the Midwest. And Chef LePage, we can't thank you enough.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I mean, you're educated.
Spreading the good word.
That's right. I mean, there is no collection plate.
There's no Exactly, yeah.
So this could easily save somebody's life.
Well, and
Yes.
especially with Easter on Sunday. I
Oh,
mean, it's now at home we aren't going to have all these purple gadgets or doodads, but at least we're going to have a way to say, you know what? Here's where we're keeping this. We
Absolutely.
can keep things separate. This
Yeah.
is highly
Yes.
important for everybody.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yes.
yeah. Whether residential at your home, commercial in the kitchen, or mass producing food for events, things like that.
Yeah.
You need to have a game plan in place, or you can severely suffer from it, or somebody can.
So if anybody's interested in purchasing this equipment, Ford Hotel Supply be more than happy to sell them to you.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's a lot of professional people around here could give you their expert opinion in what you
Absolutely.
need. So
Yeah, rely on experts. We have a saying in my company: you don't know what you don't know. So
Yeah.
if you didn't know about this, hopefully you're learning more about it. But there's tons of other great products out there for your restaurants.
Well, and seriously, guys, Linda, Chef LePage, thank you so much. And what's your big takeaway for the audience today with Food for Thought allergens? What's that big final line, that bottom dollar on allergens? Linda, I'll start with you.
wow, just how to prep everything separately.
Yes.
Keep it away from the other. This is awesome. You can have this, and I would recommend it. But if you can't, you can do things like this.
Yeah.
And you already have it in your kitchen.
Absolutely.
So,
My big takeaway, as I always said to my staff, is everyone deserves a great meal, no matter what their dietary restriction, allergy is. So we have tools, you have the capability to do it. You just have to do the effort, and it's
There you
not
go.
much effort. So
Absolutely. And one last question for both of you. Mike, Chef LePage, what's the best way for people at home to get in touch with you if they wanted to find out, learn about these products?
sure. So email's probably the best. So it's Michael, Michael, @CMA. So that's Christopher Michael Adam, foodservice.com. Or if you follow CMA Food Service on Instagram, you'll see me there, and also my team as well at some of our events and some of our posts that we do for our factories.
wonderful.
And Linda, how do we get in touch with you and sign up for that newsletter?
SafeFoodSpecialist.com. And of course, if we have this podcast first Friday of every month,
For many months to come.
I certainly hope so. And then my friend CJ, I couldn't do it without him.
And well, Linda, I couldn't do it without you and Chef LePage. Your guys' passion
Thank
for this shows because we could actually help a lot of people
Yes.
for a long time with this podcast. So, with that being said, have a great Easter. We're out of here. That's it. Our week is done on our daily show. So, on that note, all of you have a blessed Easter and try your best to stay out of jail.
Hope you find eggs with money.